Maybe I should go on my other account. We live. We live, boy. Can you ever be convinced of Christianity? What does it mean? Convinced out of Christianity. Uh, Not sure what he's saying. Can you be convinced out of Christianity?
Yo, listen up, here's the story about a little guy that lives in a blue world. And all day and all night, and everything he sees is just blue like him. Inside and outside, through his house with a blue little window and a blue Corvette. And everything is blue for him and himself and everybody around, 'cause he ain't got nobody to listen to.
Yo, this is a witchcraft spell. Yeah, I just realized that's a witchcraft chant. That is witchcraft, man. What's up, Renee Andy?
Hi.
Hello.
I want to debate number one.
Really, you think
Hi.
atheism? You think
Yeah.
atheism is rational?
It's, yes, I think it's rational.
What's like the evidence for it?
Uh, and I don't think. Firstly, I will say that I don't think you understand what atheism is.
Oh,
Atheism is not a stance. It's just say that for me, for example, I will tell you that I'm atheist. I don't think that God is real.
oh, it's just an
And I
opinion.
don't have I don't have the proof yet that can demonstrate that God is real. So, yes,
So saying atheism is just an opinion.
it's not an opinion. I will say that's just a um. I mean you can say that it's a stance, but it's just a stance that depend on the proof that we have right now. Uh, that can prove that God exists. I think we don't have enough of them, so I think most atheists will say that they are just not that we don't have yet the necessary proof to say that God exists.
So what I'm hearing is you're saying, in my opinion, God doesn't exist.
I mean, something are not opinions, so
Is it an
something
opinion,
can be
or
opinion.
is there like some? Are you saying something about the world?
I will say that it's a fact that which the proof that we have right now, we can say that God don't exist right now. But
It's a fact.
I will bit
What's the evidence for that?
we don't have proof that of the miracle that happened in the Bible. We don't have proof of all the historic that Adam and Eve were real. We don't have proof of that. We don't have proof of anything. I mean, you can choose what you want to. You can choose what you want, but I think the Bible gets something wrong in many instances. So
Okay,
yes,
well, so your logic is we should be atheist because there's no proof for God.
I never say that you should be atheist. I think even if I am atheist, I think even if God is not real, I will say that religion can be something that is good for people, that
Okay,
can
but
help
you're
people.
saying I'm an atheist because there's no proof of God.
Yes, I don't have the necessary proof yet.
And you think that's rational?
Yes, for
What
example, I think that's the scientific method. If we don't have enough proof yet, we can claim that something exists.
could I say that, like, well, theism is true because there's no proof for atheism? Do you think that's rational?
No, you can't do that with theism. You can only do that with atheism.
Okay. Well, see, the problem is logic is supposed to be, you should be able to apply logic to all your logic to all positions and it should work.
No, no. I will explain to you why. Because when theists say that God is real, that's a claim. They need to prove that. When I say that as I say for the moment, you can say that God is
Are
real.
you
I never say
willing
that God.
to accept?
I never.
Are you willing to humble yourself and accept that you made a mistake in logic or not?
Yes, maybe. Okay, I will say that maybe I misspoke. I will try to repeat my
You didn't misspeak.
stance.
No, I understand you. It's just your logic isn't logical. It's
Yes, maybe. Yes, I'm sorry. Maybe I did not express myself well because sorry, English is not my first language, so it's
yeah.
something I don't use the good word. So I will try to say my stance less fastly and more
Well,
slowly.
I think I don't know. I just think there's too much of a the language is a problem. Like I don't think we're gonna be able to understand each other.
Yes, but I'm just because when I speak fast, I think I don't think enough. I will try to talk more slowly if you
Well, I
want.
understand what you're saying. I just don't think you can understand me because we're talking about.
Yes, I understand you. I mean, I'm from like when I say English is not my first language, English is my second one. So it's
Okay,
just
but
sometimes I think
you
in
said
French, but
I'm an atheist because there's no proof for God. But if I
yet, yes, I say there's no proof for God right now to as today. If tomorrow, for example, I get the necessary proof that God exists, I will maybe become a theist. But right now, I think I don't have the necessary proof that can prove that God is real.
okay,
I never say that God can be real. I say that right now, as today, we can say that God is real. We don't
yeah,
have
but the
enough proof
problem
yet
is
to prove
like
that God is real.
when we use that same reasoning to say that God is real, you said that the reasoning is now bad.
Yes, I will explain to you why. Because when you make the claim that it is real, does that mean that you have the necessary proof to say that it is real? As me, I say for myself that I can say that God is real, so I will act like God is not real because I don't have enough proof yet. When you don't have enough proof, you
Yeah.
can make a claim.
Yeah, but we can't just say that our position is rational and then we have no evidence for our position. That's not doesn't work.
Yes, but I think you just don't understand. I never say that God can be real.
I
For
understand.
example, I say that I just don't have enough proof yet. So
Right, but if you don't
maybe
have
I will not.
proof, then your position is irrational. Your beliefs irrational because you don't
And
have
yes,
proof.
but I should if I don't have any proof, I should not believe in something if that thing don't have any proof
Yeah,
to
but
prove
if
himself,
you
right?
don't have to be rational, you need proof. So if you don't have
Yes.
proof, you're irrational.
Yes, but I never say that God don't can. For me, I will say that God can exist, like
It
God
doesn't
can't
matter.
exist.
It doesn't matter what you say. You still need proof. Whatever you say, you need proof. Doesn't matter what you say. If you say anything, you need proof for it. So since
Okay,
you,
so
yeah,
under this logic, you will say that unicorn can exist, right? Even if you don't have enough proof, right?
uh, no, I'm saying like if if I have a belief for it to be rational, I need proof of the belief that it's true. So if you don't
Okay.
have proof, then position is not rational.
Okay, so I would say, okay, maybe I'm not very atheist. I would say maybe I am a agnostic, so I'm not sure.
Well, you still need proof if you're an agnostic.
Why? When I say I'm agnostic, I mean for me it can be like 50-50.
Sure, but
It's possible.
that's still irrational. It doesn't,
Why?
because you need proof. You would need to prove that, like, you'd have to have an argument that someone should be agnostic. Like, agnostic is the correct position.
Yes, but under this logic, okay, let's say for example, if I ask you, can you prove me that unicorn don't exist? You will not be able to do that, right?
Yes, I
So
can.
under this logic, you can say that unicorn don't
No,
exist.
I could. I could prove that all day.
Okay, prove me that unicorn don't exist.
Sure. If unicorns were to exist, we would expect to see such evidences as credible eyewitness testimony, unicorn remains, unicorn tracks. Due to a lack of expected evidence, we can reasonably conclude that unicorns do not exist.
Yes, but you say it yourself. You just don't have enough evidence. That doesn't mean that unicorn don't exist. Maybe we
Well,
have no.
but I stipulated that we would expect to see evidence. What evidence
Yes,
does God?
expect.
Yeah, but
Expect is the big diff.
you didn't
Expect
say
is very important. Sorry.
you didn't
Aspect is the. Oh, sorry, you can speak.
when you said there's no evidence for God, you didn't say, well, I would expect there to be this evidence, and I don't see this evidence, therefore there's no God. You didn't do that. That's what I did.
Yes, but yeah, like I say we don't have enough. I never say that God can
Right.
exist. I say there's a possibility that he can exist, but right now we don't have enough evidence to prove that.
Sure. But I don't know. I guess you're not getting this.
So if you want, you can try to convince me that God exists.
Well, I would say God is necessary. He necessarily exists to even make like an argument or have knowledge or to speak or do anything. So you already act like God exists, the Christian God of the Bible, whether you admit it or not. It's just
Why?
um, to even like talk, there has to be something called there has to be order in nature. There has to be yeah, there has to
Yes,
be.
but you have to prove that God caused that.
Well, he it's the only explanation. There would be no way to explain the order. So this
Yes, but under this logic, I can just say that a unicorn create all that is not your God. So you see, I can do the same thing.
yeah, well,
When
the
you say that
problem
God is responsible for that, I think you need to prove that. Because you say that's the only way that could cause that, but can I have proof that that's the only way? Because I don't have proof that maybe there is other way that can cause the fact that we can talk, like you say. But you say that God is the only possibility. I say I'm not sure about that. Can you prove that? And I don't think this
yes.
can.
Well, I can prove it because human reason could never tell us why there's order, and science can never explain why there's order in the world. They'll never be able to. And
Do you know what is the God of the gap?
yeah,
Okay, but I think you just do it right. It's not because we can explain something that mean that this God. Maybe we just don't know it. That
well,
doesn't mean
you're not
that that's God.
understanding.
That
So we're not disagreeing about like some fact or something or some evidence. We're disagreeing about a system. So God represents an entire system, and you have a
mm,
system. Yeah, and
okay.
only the God system is coherent. Your system is broken. So
Can
that's
you define what you mean by system? Because I think you lost me there.
like to make we all use a system to make sense of the world,
Okay.
and so only the Christian system makes sense of the world. No other system can make sense of the world.
Yes, but when you say that something makes sense, is not that a little bit subjective? Do you think that you have a bias? for your own belief, that you say that your beliefs are the only one that makes sense.
Yes, I have a
So
bias, but I also have a objective proof that only the Christian belief makes sense because for us to have knowledge, which you can't deny that you have knowledge, we all have knowledge, and that's only
yes, I have
possible.
knowledge.
Yeah, it's only possible to have knowledge on the Christian system because any other system would make knowledge impossible.
Proof of that claim.
For example, to have knowledge, you need a source that's omniscient. If your source of knowledge isn't omniscient, then there could be some knowledge that we'll discover. Like you talked about discovering knowledge tomorrow, maybe that God exists.
Mm. Uh, I don't know, maybe. But
Well,
to come back,
that's
to the main topic, I will say that I just not can. I say for me, God is just like one possibility in um possibility, and for me there is many possibilities that can cause, for example, the existence of the universe. I will not say that God is the only possibility that can make sense, because I can. For me, I think is human cannot even claim that something don't make sense, because maybe we don't understand everything. So I'm not the type of person who like to say that something don't make sense, because I can't really prove that. Because when you say that something makes sense, for me this is like very subjective.
that's the problem. Your whole system is subjective. Hey, Julie, did you get my DM? I'm gonna give someone else. People are requesting up. Do you mind if I give someone else a chance to talk? Thanks for coming, man. If you need some money to get a battery for your fire alarm, I will help you out because no one should live with a fire alarm beeping like that. That is hell.
Yeah, I was thinking about that, man. Like, he has like $5 to get a 9-volt battery, doesn't he?
Well, I don't know, man. Africa is rough, so who knows? But like, he
Is that
definitely.
where he's from?
He sounded like he was from Africa. I don't want to be judgmental, but he had an
Oh, you're
accent.
not being judgmental, yeah. I was
Yeah,
thinking more of the Caribbean or something.
or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
He was in not he was in not Trump's America.
Nah, I mean, yeah, he was just again playing the game of like he has knowledge, he's asking for proof, and all of that presupposes God. Because in an atheist worldview, their claim is that they're evolved, acting on stimuli on the brain. So how do you get truth from stimuli on the brain,
Well,
right?
I think
Matter
there's
in motion.
when we're talking about God and philosophy, and English isn't their first. English speakers don't know what I'm talking about, so I don't know. I think
Yeah, it's a
there's some
little bit of
language
a cultural
barrier.
barrier, but
Well, there's a massive language, but yeah, there's a massive language barrier. There's like two language barriers because English is a barrier, and then philosophy is a barrier, and then theology. There's like three barriers there.
right. Yeah, my thing is when they start asking for proof and all that, the
Oh,
very
Randy, your
fact,
English is good, but I'm saying that like these topics get so dense and abstract that it's hard for English speakers to even understand.
right? Yeah, no, that's true. That's true.
I wasn't trying to offend. Your English was good.
Yeah, there's just that natural barrier, even just talking about things.
Yeah,
You know
like
what I mean?
yeah.
I work with a bunch of Serbians, and they. I follow European soccer, so sometimes they start talking about football, and I'm like, "Well, wait a minute, what football are you talking about?" You watch football this weekend? I'm like, which one? So that's understandable. Again, it's not denying that they claim Christians when you're arguing from a presuppositional position isn't saying that people don't know things or that people don't have intelligence or knowledge. It's the fact we're claiming is that you can't account for that knowledge or where it comes from.
Well, the thing what's difficult is typically when we debate, we argue over a fact, and the precept approach is saying like, look, when we're talking about God, we're not talking about just a normal fact. God represents like an entire like system or model of reality, and
Right,
so we have to argue God as a system, and when you are the way you argue systems is you argue them transcendentally. That's why we transcendental argument. So it's system versus system, but like typically like what you saw on the debate on Coco's Live on Friday, Monkey Boy versus Saitan Brewcade. So Saitan is like, look, the Christian system. Here we go. Here's my system. What's your system? And instead of like presenting their system, they just go, "What's your argument for your system? What's your argument for your system?" It's like I'm trying to do
yeah,
the system comparison. So what's your system? And they go, "Well, what's your argument for your system? What's your argument for your?" So they're not even
right,
understanding what's going on because they're used to like bickering over facts and not like foundational beliefs.
right,
Typically, these people and everyone, I was guilty of this. I didn't even know all this stuff. So like, we take a lot of our foundational beliefs for granted. We don't think about these things. So I don't
right.
think people really understand how we debate. It's kind of a different way to debate due to the content of the arguments. So when we're talking about foundational beliefs, so
Is Sai here on TikTok?
no, he like it looked like he used Coco's account. Like Coco gave him his password to log on and debate.
Oh, okay. Because for some reason I still, he's got a lot of YouTube videos,
Yeah, I've
and
never really
he's
seen
he's
him. I heard he was like more active in the past, but I haven't really ever seen him debate. So that's
yeah. It's been a while because I said he hasn't been showing up on my feeds on
yeah.
YouTube,
It kind of
and
tells he seemed rusty. He seemed a bit rusty, but at least
yeah,
he did present an argument. He didn't really get much interaction participation from the opposition,
right,
which is typical when they do the tag. They don't want to present their system. They just want to talk. They just want to do a critique on because all they want to do is criticize Christians. They don't want to like I don't know
right.
defend anything. Do you mind if I add?
Yeah, he's
Or did you have something else to say? There's some other.
no good. No, I'm just blabbering right now. If you want to bring
All right,
someone else
man.
up, that's fine.
All right, man. Thanks. Welcome, Elias.
Hello. I don't know what time it is for you, but I'm gonna say good evening. So,
Close enough, yeah.
yeah, I just came in to ask you from one of your points. How is Christianity objectively proven?
So we prove Christianity as like a system. So God's like think of God as like a system, a foundational system to interpret reality, and we prove him with a transcendental, like a philosophical proof.
But that doesn't that go for all other Abrahamic religions?
Um, Not no, because it's specifically for the Christian God.
But why? Because it's the same system. You have one omnipotent God that creates everything and is the cause of all causes. So it's the same
So
system.
in both Judaism and Islam, they're Unitarian, which means that God has no distinctions. And if God has no distinctions, then the distinctions in reality would be like an illusion or fake. And that makes knowledge impossible. So a Unitarian, you need a Trinitarian God. Unitarian God won't work. That's why we know Christianity is uniquely can make sense of the world. No other system can.
Wait, what? Why do you mean a Trinitarian can work? Why do you
Well,
think that?
for us to have knowledge, there has to be like connections and patterns between objects that we can group them. and objects also have to have differences and distinctions. So, like you and me have one thing in common: we're human beings. But then we have a lot of properties that are different, like our height, weight, age, whatever. So, without the differences and the similarities, there's knowledge would be impossible. And what that means is that like the foundation of reality has to be a Trinitarian God, basically, because any other option is going to result in like an absurdity that would make knowledge impossible. Because either the connections would be fake or the distinctions would be like fake.
But why would they be fake?
Because if like in okay, so Hinduism says like ultimately everything is one thing.
Yeah, but we're not talking about Hinduism. That's not an Abrahamic religion.
Well, we're talking about fundamental reality. Like,
No, we're talk. I gave a comparison of Islam and Judaism because other religions they overlap with a lot of their gods, and therefore they can't make common ground when it comes to
well,
objectivity and integrity in their own religion. Whereas the Abrahamic religions, Islam, Judaism, and Christianity, they all have one God that they all worship. That's the same. It's the same God principally. So it's the same concepts that goes for all of them as well, because they have one omnipotent God that is the head of everything. While Christianity does have a Trinity as the Holy Spirit and Jesus, it's still the same concept of an omnipotent God that doesn't change the ground rules for the principles of how things work. Doesn't change anything about it. It just delegates power to these two other factions within the Trinity, nothing else. So I don't really get why it's an explanation for a difference. It's just
because
meaningless.
well, you're not understanding the implications of like having a Unitarian God versus a Trinitarian God. A Unitarian God, I was trying to explain to you, would make knowledge impossible because
But why would it that?
fundamentally everything would be just the same thing. There would be no
But can you
difference.
prove that?
Yeah, if
How?
if ultimately everything is A, then not A doesn't exist. It's an illusion.
What? If
Oh my god.
everything is A,
That's why I brought up Hinduism. So when the Hindus believe that everything ultimately is Brahman, and that the differences between us are not real; they're an illusion. Because that's the logical entailment of a Unitarian God. So in Judaism and Islam, they have a Unitarian God, which would logically entail that distinctions are not real, which logically entails that knowledge is impossible. So logically, a trinity is necessary, a Trinitarian God, and only uniquely Christianity provides a Trinitarian God.
but in the end, that's just a claim.
It's a logical argument, dipshit.
Okay, can we hold
Okay.
with the language? You're
When you
you're
say that's just a claim, you're predicating, and God is necessary to predicate as the final reference point in predication. So when you say that's just a claim, you're assuming the claim, dipshit.
okay. So it's not very really Christian of you to call me dipshit, but
Yeah, well, it's not very
that's one
Christian of
thing.
you to call my.
I'm not a
It's
Christian.
not. Excuse me. It's not very Christian of you to call my logical argument a fucking claim.
I'm not a Christian, so I'm good.
Obviously, you're on your way
Yeah,
to.
obviously. But
On your way
but
to
why do
hell.
you have to call me dipshit? It's
Because you're
pretty
acting like a
childish.
dipshit. I call them as I see them. Christians are
Pretty
also
childish, but that's fine.
okay. Well, Christians are honest. How about that?
Um,
Cash me outside.
okay, some of them are, not the majority.
I'm being very
But
honest. Okay.
right. But in the end, that's a circular argument. It's just a claim. In the end, you don't have any definitive proof of logic not working in a Unitarian system. You
Okay.
just
So what's
said
your
it was
relation?
like that.
So you don't want to debate. You want to say that arguments are claims. So what's your relationship like with your father?
I have a great relationship with my father.
Really? So don't have a daddy issue. So that's not going to explain why you're ignoring evidence. How about your mother? Do you have a good relationship with your mother?
What is this therapy time?
Well, you don't. I gave you an argument. You ignored it. So now we're doing therapy.
Great. And the argument is what? Still that I don't believe in a Trinitarian God, or
I gave you an argument. I was trying to debate you, and you acted like a dipshit. And so now we're in therapy session. We're wondering
you're.
why do you ignore.
Yeah, great. Chris, you're so triggered.
Well, I'm just
It's
wondering.
actually crazy.
Sit on my couch and tell me why do you ignore evidence? What did evidence do to you when you were a
I'm
kid?
not ignoring evidence. I'm just
Why do
ignoring
you
the fact
treat
that you're just
evidence?
making a claim and then acting like it's evidence.
Right.
You can't
So,
just state something as a fact without actually giving me proper evidence because you didn't give me anything.
did your mom like take care of you, or did she like hire a nanny and ignore you?
I thought Christian people were meant to be the most respectful people on earth because they had this superior morality to everyone, but you're acting like a jerk right now. And I don't
What?
get that.
Well, don't you think ignoring my logical argument is acting like a jerk?
I didn't ignore anything because it was
You
not a
ignored.
logical
You said it
argument.
was a
You
fucking
literally just
claim.
you
You go, your
made a
argument's a
claim.
claim, like a little pompous teenager. So now it's therapy
You
time because you didn't want to. You didn't. I tried to give you the argument, and you rejected the argument. So now we're in therapy. Let's. Do you want to give an argument for atheism?
I don't have the burden of proof, so no.
Okay, then it's therapy. So why do you reject the obvious truth of God? Like, it has to be daddy issues.
There's no because there's no sufficient evidence to back up the idea of a God. And nonetheless, if it's a
I
Christian
just
or
gave wait,
a
but I
Muslim,
just gave you evidence and you ignored it. Like, did you have some trauma? Did you like lose a pet
come
that
on, man.
when you were a child? Did you lose a pet that you
Then
loved a lot?
give
So
me some
now, when
sufficient
people
evidence to
present
back
logic,
up the idea of a God.
so when you were a kid, did you lose a loved one, like a pet or a loved one, and it was traumatic?
Jesus, how
And so
can you
now
be
you can't
so?
accept logical evidence. Like there's something wrong with you. You
How
can't
can you have such a
psychologically.
superiority complex? It's
Dude, I
crazy.
gave you an argument and you
You
didn't.
have a serious superiority
Dude, I
complex, and
gave
I
you an
feel bad for
argument.
you.
You had the chance to do
Come
the
on,
debate.
man.
Dude, I gave you the argument. And you pretended like I'm not making an argument. So now we're in therapy to figure out why do you
Do you
ignore
know?
argument.
Okay, okay, great. Just like Ulick Bum said in the comment section, do you have any idea what evidence is? Can you explain what evidence means?
Evidence is going to be like we have rational proof. Which is like when we make deductive arguments. We have like math is a rat like 1 + 1 = 2. That's a rational proof, right? We have empirical proof, which is like science. Everyone knows science. We have pragmatic proof, which says like something is true because it works, but that's kind of bullshit to do that. And then there's also transcendental proof, which is say something is necessary for intelligible experience.
Okay, so I don't know why you're talking about proof and evidence are two separate things.
Okay.
But
I think
I saw you had a little just.
I think proof and evidence are different, guys. I don't know. I don't even know if our therapy can help him. He is a tough one. We might need he's beyond my expertise. Welcome, Chris.
Hey, what was your relationship with your parents like?
Dude, I had daddy issues and then I got on my knees and I said, "Jesus, I need a savior." And
So Jesus is
almost
your dad.
immediately overnight my daddy issues went away and I became a Christian. It was a miracle.
So Jesus is your daddy then.
Well, the thing is, if you have childish angst against your father, then you'll be upset at your father in heaven. So you have to forgive your father on earth, and then you can have a
Who says
relationship
that?
with your father in heaven. What?
Who says that?
Jesse Lee Peterson.
Where?
There's a weirdo in America says this. He
And you
also
follow a weirdo.
he's pretty weird, but I think he's right
Why are
about
you
that.
following the advice of a weirdo?
Well, because I think he's dead on. I think I've talked to a lot of atheists, and I see daddy issues and mommy issues and stuff. So
So you're projecting, to put it bluntly.
if you want to think so,
Well, no, it sounds like by what I've
okay.
heard of you anyway.
Okay. So do you have
Yeah.
like, an argument for atheism?
Well, you're the one making the claim. I'd like
Oh,
to hear
here
some
we
evidence.
go.
Here we go. Come on. So, what was your definition of evidence? Because that just went wavy davy all over the place.
Well, I didn't really define evidence. I explained like all the different
No, you
types
didn't.
of
So,
evidence.
can you define evidence? That'll be great.
Define it.
Yeah.
Like a good reason to think something's true.
Okay, so what's your good reason then? Beyond the claim?
The transcendental
Some
argument for
research
God.
or case study to actually assess your point of view and
That
compare it to others?
the Christian worldview is necessary for intelligibility. So we wouldn't be able to explain
Explain.
what.
Explain.
Yeah, like only the Christian worldview can ground like truth, reason, intelligibility.
Yeah, that's a claim. How do you know that?
Um, well, were you not listening to my argument? I mean, I got a lot of arguments. So
Well, can you make them? That'd be great.
yeah, so premise one: if theism is not the case, then one cannot account for the uniformity of nature presupposed by inductive reasoning. Are you with me?
Right. So what's the next P1? So just a query of that. Well, where did that conclusion come from?
Bertrand Russell, he says that.
So just the one person then. You've not got
All right.
any other sources.
Bonson says Greg Bonson says that
Okay.
the Christian worldview can account for the uniformity of nature because God would have created the universe and endowed it with order and then revealed
But
that knowledge
how
to it
how did he know that though?
because it was revealed.
Revealed how? That's not informative.
Like God gives us knowledge.
Okay. Can
Like
you elaborate?
he can talk. He can just speak to us the knowledge, communicate it that way, or like through um, there's revelation through like just the fact that he orders and creates everything. So the order in the world reveals his mind.
Okay. So you said that God spoke to you. When did God speak to you?
Well, he didn't speak to me directly, like he spoke to humanity, like through the
Well, I'm
prophets.
talking about yourself. What one your daddy issues? What makes? And I'm talking about your revelation, so to speak.
Hmm. I don't know. I mean, like I read the Bible, and that's like the Word of God, so that would be like a type of revelation.
That's slightly circular, unfortunately.
I don't
That's like
know.
me
So,
claiming Harry Potter because the Harry Potter books.
so I'm claiming that the Bible is my starting point in my system. I take the Bible as the authoritative Word of God, so it's true in virtue that it comes from God. So what's
Okay.
if that's
Well, you
not
could just replace God with Harry Potter.
well? I mean, typically we debate things that are real. I'm not an anime debater.
Yeah, it's
Wanna-
Harry Potter is
Maybe
not anime.
do you debate anime? Because we don't in actual debates we talk about things that we can prove. We don't just make stuff up.
Well,
So,
yeah, that's what I'm asking. If you do not make stuff up and insist
well,
that
do you
your Bible is
understand?
true, but because so
I mean, Jesus.
prove that Harry Potter is not is disproven
Oh my
apparently there's
goodness, we have to
no.
get really remedial here, folks. Okay, so do you
Okay,
understand that,
go on.
like, Harry? Excuse me.
I'm waiting for you to give evidence.
Okay, do you understand that, like, Harry Potter is a work of fiction?
It's a hypothetical.
Okay, it's just a pathetical though. We're not. I'm
Yes.
not. When I'm talking
Can
about
you?
God, I'm not talking about a hypothesis or a
Why
hypothetical.
not? Why not?
Because God's not a hypothesis or a hypothetical. He's something. He's a necessary mind that's actual
That's a
and
claim. That's a claim. Can you elaborate beyond that? That's
um.
what I'm asking.
Yeah, but when you say that's a claim, you have
Yeah,
to
it's
assume
just a
that God
claim.
exists. Yeah, but you have to
Yeah, that's
assume.
all you've done is just say God's the first thing, and
Uh-huh.
that's it. You haven't gone beyond that.
I'm trying to. Well, I was trying to give an argument, and then you crashed out.
What do you mean?
That you're just a mess of like reason and logic.
I'm the mess. Are you sure?
Yeah.
You're the one with daddy issues,
Okay.
claiming to want to suck Jesus' dick for some reason. I don't know.
Okay. So is it your? Do you have a? Is it your father? Do you have a good
My
relationship?
father. Is he your father?
Do you have a good
Come on,
relationship?
tell us, P-Mars, it's therapy time. You're on my sofa now.
Therapy time.
Why are you projecting your issues onto TikTok?
Oh my god. You're not the therapist, dude.
Yo, what's
Welcome.
up?
What would you like to say?
Yeah, so you said you read the Bible, believe the Bible, correct?
Yep.
Okay. You believe that God gives us free will, correct?
Um, that's kind of complicated. So in Christianity, freedom is obeying God because God is free. So when we obey God, it's kind of like a paradox. But when you obey God, then you're free, and being able to make choices and the state we're in the bondage of sin. So the fact that we can make choices is actually like a type of like slavery that we're in as a result of sin. But yeah, we can make choices. We can freely choose A or B because we're in the bondage of sin.
Got you. So, like, for instance, with Nimrod and the Babylonians when they're building the Tower of Babel, do you believe it's a direct hindrance to scramble their languages because they're not doing what they were told?
Say that again. You kind of broke up.
Yeah, Nimrod and the Babylonians, they built the
Yeah.
Tower of Babel or attempted to build it to the
Yeah.
heavens. God
Oh,
scrambled their languages. Do you believe this is a direct hindrance to free will?
uh, no. So the Jews thought of God as their liberator. So humans are constantly like sin is a type of bondage or slavery. Like we're enslaved to sin, and God tries to liberate us from the bondage of sin. So God's our liberator. He's not. So when he does that to Nimrod, that's because he cares about our freedom.
Right, but that's not my question is, do you believe that is a direct hindrance to free will? To he didn't just scramble Nimrod, he
No,
scrambled all of their languages.
I don't think you're understanding. In
What am I not
Christianity,
understanding?
remember I said in Christianity, freedom is to obey the will of God. It's a paradox, kind of.
Yeah,
And
where can you give me a direct quote from the Bible that actually says that?
no,
Oh, so you just made it up.
no, I'm studying the ethics of freedom, and that's like
And where are they deriving that information from?
they're theologians, so like the
Right,
Bible.
but I'm talking about the Bible. I'm not talking about anything else. We can only use the Bible in this instance.
Mm, well,
Yes,
then
because God says that the Bible is the only source of information you need
okay.
to reach Him.
So you're not making the rules,
Yeah,
and
God
we're
is, and
not
I'm basing this off of your God's
using.
rules.
We're not restricting the debate to strictly the Bible. Other books are
But I'm
valid,
asking you about the Bible,
and the
which you
book
said you read and which you refuse to answer my
it's a
question.
book. I didn't. You just refused to accept the answer because you're a childish
You didn't
brat.
give me an answer.
I gave you an answer, and you're a little brat.
No, I'm not a little brat. You're just
Yeah,
mad
you're a little
because you
child.
don't
How
have an
old
answer
are
to my
you?
question.
How old are you?
Wouldn't you like to know?
What a you're
You creep.
pathetic. You're pathetic. So,
Yeah.
do you have a
Take
good
that L
relationship?
and
Yeah.
move on with your life, bud.
So, do you have a good relationship with your father,
I'll ask it again. Nimrod, the Babylonians, they tried to build the Tower of Babel, correct? God scrambled their languages. Is this a direct hindrance to free will?
bro? You're out of your mind. Do you have a? Do
Yeah,
you have
you're
a
not going to
good?
answer my question, are you? Keep running, buddy.
No, it's therapy time. Do you have a
No,
good
I'm sure it is.
relationship?
It only turns into therapy time whenever you can't answer questions, it seems like.
Well, you're acting really
Seems like
childish.
this therapy is to help you because you are nervous that you can't
No,
answer a question.
I'm detecting arrested development.
You know what happens when people start name calling? It's a sign of their intelligence being very low and then
Dude,
being very emotional. So
you're
go ahead
act.
and give us a show. Be emotional for me.
Oh my god. Bye
Call me names.
bye. Jeez, grow up, people. When are they gonna grow up? That's embarrassing to the other atheists. Welcome,
Hey,
mediator.
what's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing well.
That's good.
What would you like to say?
So you said you have like the reason why you believe the Bible is true is because it's divinely revealed to you, right? Or it's been divinely revealed through special revelation.
I accept the Bible as the authority in my system, and if you do not do so, you will be reduced to absurdity. So,
Yeah. So I actually have a holy book right here that says it was divinely revealed to me that this book actually says Christianity is false and the Bible is false.
yeah,
I know this because of special revelation. It's been
yeah,
divinely revealed to me.
yeah. But Goku, he got Super Saiyan level 3, and then he went to Super Saiyan God and Ultra Instinct, and he Kamehameha'd your book, and so now your book doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, so exactly, you can do that all day with your argument.
Yeah, exactly. So no, we're actually here. I'm not an anime debater. I don't know if you knew that. So when you debate on my stage, you have to
What
have
anime? The only person who mentioned anime was you.
no. I'm making fun of you. So like when you talked about your
I'm
revelation.
making fun of you. That's your argument. I believe the
Oh
Bible is
my
true
god!
because
Only
it
I am
is.
allowed to be funny. You're not allowed to be funny. It's a rule.
It seems like you're allowed to be emotional with the last three people.
I'm not being
You allowed yourself to
emotional.
be emotional.
How am I being emotional?
You're calling people names and crying because you can't answer
That's
questions.
the whole point of my life is to call atheist names.
And when I read your I give your argument back to you, you make fun of it because it is absurd. It's stupid. It's
No, but that's not okay. But in my argument, the Bible's tangible. Is your Bible tangible?
yeah, I have it right here.
But you're lying.
No, I'm
Everyone
not. How do you know that?
and now we're in therapy time.
Wait, how do you know I'm lying?
So, what's your relationship like with your
How do
father?
you know I'm lying? Exactly, dude. You can't answer a question. This is your go-to. That's pathetic, man.
Well, you're lying. What's more pathetic? Like
Wait,
me,
Did
rejection, or
Darth finger
you?
your asshole too hard? Is that why you need therapy?
Whoa. Okay. What's your relationship like with
You
your
love Darth with my dad. My dad loves me. He gave me a house.
father?
Maybe that's why you're a Christian because you're poor and your life sucks and you think
But
that you
maybe
can have a
like
better life in heaven.
maybe God, your dad, he gave you a lot of material things, but he didn't spend a lot of time with you. And you want what you really wanted
Yeah,
was
we spent a lot of time together. Yeah, I worked with him when I
really.
was little, and uh, I'm able to spend a lot of time
That's
with my
weird.
family now.
You have some like attention seeking behavior because you're saying absurd
Dude,
things.
you're literally hosting a TikTok live.
Yeah, but I'm not like you're like making stuff up like a crazy person to get attention. So it's just I'm thinking
Wait,
maybe
what am I making up? Oh,
your, your
Darth
dad.
didn't finger you too hard. He fingered you just the right amount, and you
You
liked it.
said
Is
your dad gave you a
that what
house.
it
I'm
is?
guessing he worked a lot, right? And if he's working a lot, then he doesn't have time to spend with
I
you.
went to work. I went to work with him. You wouldn't know
And
what that's like because
now
you don't have a good father.
you
That
you're like
your dad didn't want anything to do with you
I'm
because
just
you're
saying
annoying.
like you need attention, and so you come on here and start talking about your holy book that's not real. To
It
get
is real. How do you know it's not real? See that you won't answer the question.
hmm,
It's right here. I have it right here. It's been divinely revealed to me,
fascinating.
and it says Christianity is false, and the Bible is false, and all prophecies contained within the Bible are false.
Well, I wish you well, sir. Bye bye. Welcome, Egyptian.
Hey, Precept. Any luck with these atheists or same
We
old,
got
same old?
we got a lot of therapy sessions. Not too much progress on debating, but we're doing a lot of therapy.
It
I
seems
guess
like,
I'm gonna start
sorry.
reading. You know, I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna put the logic books and philosophy books down and stop reading these papers by James Anderson and such. Not that they're bad or anything, but like I'm gonna have to bone up on my therapy because I'm gonna
Yeah,
have to get some therapy books because all these debates turn into therapy sessions every
yeah.
time.
I think Precept, instead of us like studying philosophy to have discussions with atheists, we should now study therapy and
No, you're
uh,
right. Yeah,
yeah, that's how we should now deal with
I'm
atheists.
gonna
Yeah,
as soon as I finish the book I'm reading now, I'm gonna look into some therapy, some material. Maybe I'll watch some videos and bone. I need to bone up on my therapy
yeah,
skills.
yeah. It's crazy.
Oh,
However,
you're already up. weren't
Is
you?
Verita, are you an atheist?
Yeah, I was.
All right.
I'm
Well,
not an atheist though. No.
Are you a Christian? Are you a
You have
Christian?
a question? Yeah, I have a question for you though.
No, are you a Christian? Are you a Christian?
I said yes.
Okay. Oh, he's a Christian. Okay. Yeah. Okay. What's your question for
But what's funny
Precept?
is, when host couldn't answer my question, he uh called me an atheist. My question
No,
is,
I
I'll
was
ask you,
asking you a
Egyptian.
question. I was just asking if you're an atheist. I wasn't like, yeah.
no, he was
Egyptian, I have
on
a
here
question.
earlier. He's talking about earlier Egyptian.
Yeah, Egyptian, I'll ask you this question.
I was being
Um,
mean to him.
um, so Nimrod, the Babylonians, they built the Tower of Babel or tried to build the Tower of Babel to reach heaven. God gives us free will. Is it a direct hindrance to scramble their languages against free will?
I mean, are you talking about like divine? The You're talking about the problem of like divine foreknowledge with libertarian free will, right?
No, I'm saying, did God interfere with free will by
Yeah, yeah. So that's
scrambling their
mm,
languages?
yeah. So that's also going to be like the problem of like divine providence or foreordination with libertarian free will. But Molinism and middle knowledge, which Darth also agrees with, right? It solves all of this issue, right? Where I
Right,
mean,
but can you just answer my question with a yes or no?
But God,
yeah,
of
it doesn't.
course,
It doesn't. It doesn't fumble. Go ahead, precept. It
I
doesn't
mean,
hinder
it
the
would.
libertarian free will.
He does do things that impede our free will. Like he creates the law of
Doesn't.
gravity, so I don't have the
Yeah.
free will to jump to the moon.
Yeah, but we didn't choose gravity. They chose to do what they did. That's free will, choosing.
Yeah, but
Yeah. So yeah.
So how can one choose gravity?
no, but God sets the world up in a way that you're limited in the things you can choose by being a human and like the physical world.
Right, but I didn't choose to be a human.
Yeah, but God chose for you to be a human, and God
Exactly.
chose. God
Exactly. So,
designed
but
everything.
as
So God is.
humans,
Oh my God. So God is constantly limiting your free will choices, but that doesn't mean you don't have free will. So your logic is really bad to think
okay,
that oh Nimrod, therefore no free will. That's bad logic.
I didn't say that. I said, was it a hindrance to their free will?
Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
it wasn't a hindrance.
Okay,
They
but I
still
thought
had free
God doesn't
will.
interfere with free will. He lets us
It
choose.
doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't. He doesn't interfere with free will. Yeah, that's
But
right.
he
He
interfered with
does.
their
He
free will to
does.
build a tower.
No, no, he
He
didn't.
does. He does interfere with free will, and that he sets the parameters for it.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, and what are those
He
parameters?
doesn't. Like I said, like gravity would be one of the parameters, or
So
like
but saying that one of his parameters was that you're not the decider on what his parameters are,
uh-huh.
right?
He is.
So,
Yeah.
why did God scramble their languages, but He allows other people to murder people?
Um. Well, you'd have to ask God. That I don't know.
Oh, okay. Let me just ask him then.
This guy a Christian precept. I
I
find it
don't think
difficult.
so, but he
I don't
said.
think you're a Christian. Yeah, I don't
Well,
think this guy.
you're up here cursing at people and calling them names that you call yourself a Christian.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah, is
calling
that something that
people.
Well, you think God would approve of you doing that?
Yeah, Jesus called people names.
He did not call them curse words.
He absolutely did.
Show me, prove it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, prove it. You're lying, and God doesn't like when people.
When Jesus says you are the son, when he says, I know these things in Arabic. I'm trying because I read the Bible in Arabic.
Hello.
Yeah.
Oh, Liv is here. Okay, yeah, we got. Hey, Liv, Liv, are you an atheist?
No, I'm a Mormon.
Are you? Oh, you're a Mormon.
Oh my
Okay, go ahead,
God.
precept.
A Mormon.
Yeah, and I was just wondering, how did you come to believe that Christ was real? Like,
Is he a Mormon?
You want
Don't
my
Christians
testimony? But
read?
this is like a debate.
Yeah.
This isn't like a
okay,
testimony. My testimony is like basically I was at rock bottom and I just submitted to God because I like what else could I do?
Were you an atheist precept before?
I mean, I always
Agnostic.
believed I believed in a higher power, like I believed in a
Okay.
God, but I just didn't
Yeah.
know what it was, I guess.
because
Oh, okay. So you weren't a Christian. Oh, that's amazing, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
And only became a Christian 5 years ago.
I've seen you on other people's lives, and I just didn't know if you were Christian or not.
Yeah, I'm a Christian. I was raised Catholic, but I stopped believing when I was probably like I always liked Jesus. I never didn't like Jesus, but I just didn't believe the church was telling us the truth or something. So I didn't. Which I mean, I still think the Catholic Church is not honest, but
Do
that's
you
me.
have a denomination you subscribe to?
Not really. Probably like you could say I'm Protestant, evangelical, fundamentalist.
Cool. Well, that's all I was asking.
Liv,
You
would you
can.
consider becoming like a Christian and leave Mormonism?
No. I've seen things like I've had visions and a vision, and I know that this church is true.
So, Precept, to be honest, I have a deficiency in knowledge when it comes to the area of Mormonism. So, if you want to like have a discussion with Liv,
Well, I'm not really
uh,
into debating other
sure,
theists.
yeah,
I mostly like to debate agnostic and atheists. So I don't think we really have anything to debate, I guess. But
yeah.
thanks for coming, Liv.
Yeah, no problem.
But God bless. Yeah, obviously we different. I don't agree with Mormonism, but I don't. I don't know. I could debate Mormons. They don't really debate a lot, though, do they? This guy was on earlier too.
Yo, what's up?
What's up,
Media, you're
man?
an atheist, or
I was gonna ask the host. So, did your absentee father teach you to be a pussy, or did you learn how to? Did
okay, yeah, he's a
you learn
true.
on yourself? Learn.
I love it. I love it. He's mad. That's
Precept, why are they so immature being a teenagers in an
well.
adult's body? Yeah.
To be fair, I am doing the. I am making fun of them. So it's
Because they
fair.
deservedly they deserve it, right? Like they're acting like they
Well,
don't want to respond to your arguments, Precept. Yeah.
I mean, look, I think that's fair, right? I give someone a chance. I treat them with respect, and when they take a dump on me, then I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna make fun of this person. I mean, if you think I'm a bad person for doing that, then I guess I'm a bad person. I'm not. I'm not. There's no like. I don't have any malice towards these people. I'm not angry at these people. It's just all fun and games, right? Like I'm not trying to just go out of my way to be rude to people just because they disagree. But if they're gonna be rude to me, then I'll just tease them and have fun with them. It's not. There's no like hate or anything.
Okay.
I like comedy. Excuse me for liking comedy and joking around.
Yeah.
You used a curse word. Jesus, like Paul put the word shit in the Bible. I think like when Jesus is calling like people a fox or a snake, den of vipers, that's the equivalent of like cursing some like like calling someone an asshole or something. Calling someone a donkey, right? Or when he calls the woman a female dog, that's like calling someone a bitch. But Jesus, see, if you notice, Jesus kind of tests people to see if they're arrogant. And if they show humility, then he like he helps them.
Yep. Someone,
Mhm.
Precept, someone by the name of Yvonne is saying, "I'm a Christian, but it isn't objectively provable." I think this person is trying to LARP as a Christian.
No, I used to think that too. I didn't think you could prove
Okay.
God. Um,
Yeah.
so I think that's a pretty common belief.
Among Christians?
Yeah, well, I think a lot of Christians don't believe. I think they go, "Well, I just have faith," or "I had an
Oh, okay. Yeah.
experience. I had a personal experience that made me
Yeah.
believe," or "I have faith." But we can actually, because the transcendental argument is not very popular. It's not very like well known,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it's rejected. And academics don't take it seriously because they've kind of ignored skeptical concerns. So skepticism, they just kind of put skepticism on the shelf and ignored it in academia.
It's sort of like even like if you take like the evidentialist approach, right? Aren't there like like I would say there are good arguments, but I wouldn't like believe it on the basis like but of course they're not sufficient. You would say, right, Precept? Even though they're good like even if someone never really heard of the transcendental argument, aren't there still going to be like good arguments in the evidentialist or the classical approach? Or you would say no,
Um,
that's still yeah.
I don't think they're good arguments because they're good arguments if you're a Christian. But if you're trying to like convince someone to be a Christian, they're not good arguments
Yeah.
because those arguments were developed. It's only recently that people have started to doubt Christianity in the last what, like 200 years maybe.
Yeah.
So like those arguments were conceived in a world where everyone just believed in God. So sure, if you believe in God already, those arguments make sense. But if you're a skeptic,
Yeah.
those arguments don't get past skepticism. To
Yep.
defeat skepticism, Kant came up with transcendental arguments that are anti-skeptical arguments. Hume is like the godfather of skepticism, and then Kant tries to defeat skepticism. We say Kant fails. You can't defeat skepticism secularly, and that you need to submit to God's authoritative revelation to defeat
Right.
skepticism.
That's
And
right.
that's the proof of God.
Right. Yep.
So they just want to ignore it and act like they have knowledge, even though they
Yo, hello.
skepticism. We can welcome.
Good afternoon. So this is to a debate about. I'm personally a Muslim, and you are a Christian.
Oh my gosh.
No. It's okay. It's okay.
So
Are you?
I don't want to get banned or um, unalived. No, last time I talked to someone of that persuasion, I got banned, and I don't know why. So I just make it a policy.
Yeah.
If that happens again, to avoid getting banned, I just have to remove people to avoid getting banned.
Exactly. Yeah.
Unfortunately. So TikTok does not want me to talk to people that get me banned. So I like it was so weird. I don't know what because I just thought we were having a normal conversation. I wasn't saying anything crazy, and I got taken off for hate speech. And I'm like, what? I'm like, okay, well, I guess I can't have that religion on my show anymore because that's hate speech. There you go.
But precept, you would say you wouldn't have discussions with Muslims because you want to discuss with non-theists, right? Like atheists or
Um,
agnostics, right?
yeah, I'm mainly yeah. My mission is against agnosticism and atheism, and I don't know. Maybe if like Islam invades America, then I'll start debating them. But
Their population is increasing though in America, right?
that's that's true.
Yeah.
It's yeah. My show with 23 viewers. Yeah, I'm not very popular, but that's okay because like in Christian, you wouldn't expect Christianity and the truth to be popular. Usually, like historically, the truth is hated, and like
Yeah.
Jesus was crucified, so he said that like most what is it, wide is the path of destruction and then many take it, like narrow is the path to life and few find it. So
Yep.
I don't think I'll ever like have a lot of followers or viewers, but I do this for fun. I love it. And I mean, I like making people laugh and uh I think I think there is something like I think atheism is bad for the world. So I think it's good to fight atheism.
Yeah.
I don't know. Islam too. I have issues with Islam too, and like all anything that's non-Christian, I kind of have issues with, I guess. But I kind of focus on atheism and agnostic. The thing is with the atheist and the agnostic is they're so arrogant and conceited, like they think they know everything. And I've always kind of like when someone's a know-it-all, I like to um I don't know, show them kind of like take the wind out of their sails. I do get maybe it's that's something evil. Maybe that's my sin. I do kind of enjoy taking the wind out of someone's sails who's like really full of themselves.
Yep.
I get a sick pleasure from it, Egyptian.
That's funny.
Something wrong with me.
No.
Well, it's therapy time for the host, I guess. I don't think I was really an atheist. I remember like when I was 13 or 14, I like considered in my mind, what if there was no God? And then I was like, well, that's doesn't make sense because like nothing would exist if there was no God. That's what I thought. And then I never really thought about it. I just always believed in a God. And then I just thought Christianity was a lie. And then I realized I was like biased and I should give Christianity another chance. And I read the Gospels and I'm like, wow, Christianity's awesome. I'm going to be a Christian because Jesus is saying things that are obviously true. Like, how can you deny the things Jesus says in the New Testament? It's like so,
Can't. Yeah.
and it's really like profound. I thought it was profound how he said, you have to love the people that annoy you and persecute you. You can't just love your family and your friends because, like, he's like, even pagans love their families and friends. But who do pagans not love? Their enemies. So
Someone.
we have to go one step above and beyond as Christians, and we have to love
Yeah.
everyone. And that's radical.
Yep.
I'm a radical kind of guy. That just made like sense to me when I read that. It was like, bam, I'm going to be a Christian when I read that, I think.
Someone is asking you, Precept. He's saying, Precept, could you say that you believe you're 100% right and you would bet your life on it?
With God, with Christianity, yes. With other
Yeah.
stuff, no.
Yeah.
I think there's certain things we can be like we can be pretty certain that logic is true. I'm the most certain God is true, and then second tier would be like stuff like logic, maybe math or something. Then it's gonna be like science after that. Science would be like third tier.
People would put like God as first tier, that they're absolutely certain God exists
That's what,
before.
that's what I said. Yeah, God is
Oh, yeah.
first tier. Then
Yeah.
second tier would be like logic,
Yeah.
would be like
Yeah.
math. Because like it's hard to think of like logic being false. Then like third tier would be like scientific evidence. That's how I would rate like my certainty levels. Evolution is a lie. I agree. I think. What do you think? Are you? Do you believe in evolution, Egyptian?
Absolutely not.
I feel like if evolution is true, then there would be death before the fall, and then
Yep.
there'd be no reason for Jesus to sacrifice himself if
Hmm.
there's no fall. So, evolution kind of undermines the atonement of Christ.
Exactly. So the same person, the precept, is asking you a follow up question by saying, "Okay, and do you think that any amount of proof would make you believe otherwise?" Absolutely not. The precept, what would because if they invoke proof, then they're actually borrowing from the Christian worldview.
Yeah, because God would be necessary for proof. So
Exactly.
I don't see how you
Yeah.
could like prove God
Yeah.
doesn't exist. Welcome, Rose. What would you like to say?
Oh, actually, nothing. I just commented. I'm just here checking out the scenery.
Oh, well, I kind of do debates. I kind of like these are kind of like I'm kind of like mean. So, might not be the best first impression of TikTok. This live.
Okay, so I'll move on. All right. Well, take care.
You too. I wish you well.
Thanks. You too. Bye bye.
Maybe this TikTok ban got like new people interested in TikTok. I don't know. That's funny. I wonder why TikTok would recommend my live to someone new. Because like I thought TikTok would be persecuting me. Um, Noah's flood makes way more sense than evolution. Host is afraid of three things: one, Jeebus; two, his dad's belt; three, me. Yeah, I realize there's objective evidence for evolution. I just don't believe it because I interpret it differently through my worldview, through my paradigm. See, you interpret the evidence through a materialistic paradigm, but that paradigm doesn't make sense. So I'm going to use a paradigm that's coherent when I interpret the evidence, and my paradigm says that the things people think are evidence for evolution are just, um, I think it's like motivated reasoning because a lot of it is like Darth says it's circular, right? They sort of presuppose there's deep time. And the radiometric isotope dating, they have to assume that the daughter elements start at zero, but it could be the case that they start at a different number, and then that would throw all their calculations off. There's like stuff like that. People don't understand there's a lot of prejudicial conjecture in scientific theories, even though there's like evidence to support them, because evidence is going to require context. Could I repeat everything I said in a captured video? There's like way smarter people. I mean, like, I don't know if you're saying that to make fun of me or because you think what I said was good, but there's way smarter people you could listen to. I might make dinner, I guess. I'll probably go live later. Not getting many people requesting up now. And I feel like taking a break. Yeah. I'll see you guys later. I'll stream later, probably.